Gemini, it's your in-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 16th of March for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share with you, first of all, the big themes of the week, then on screen, your event chart on Monday, always influential, then go through those influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of relationships, finance, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now and help it to continue to thrive. Your ruler, Mercury, is going to station direct on Thursday, a day when we also begin the new astrological year. The sun returns to the sign of Aries. It's a time of initiation. But what does that mean for you? We're also going to see this week a new moon in the previous sign of Pisces. It's very late, and that's very much more to do with your connection to the world. What's the significance of that? Now, Jupiter, the planet of fortune, is now going forwards in the part of your chart to do with everyday money. And this week forges a square to Venus, which could be lucky for you. I'll unpack that for you too. So on the screen, Gemini, is your event chart. As ever, we need to look at the two luminaries. Sun there entering the last 5-6 degrees of the sign of Pisces. And we have the moon in your fellow air sign of Aquarius. So that suggests that you may be feeling a little restless at the start of the week, but that combination between Mars and that retrograde in Mercury is really significant. Mercury in Pisces is really quite tricky because it is detrimented, but because of the water element, it can have a tendency to make it much more difficult to think clearly or to analyze things in a very precise way. And if you are going to have any discussions at the start of this week, and particularly around your work, it's going to be vital that you don't jump to any conclusions, because there is a square between Mercury and Mars and Black Moon Lilith. I'm not sharing it on my screen, but Black Moon Lilith for you is in the part of your scope to do with your relationships. And if there is a professional relationship where someone seems very demanding and not very yielding, it could be quite triggering. So just bear that in mind. But what is really positive at the start of this week is the sun is going to be moving forwards in that 10th house of ambitions and goals and linking brilliantly in a sextile with Uranus, the planet of innovation. And if there is something you've been thinking about doing that's different, or summoning up some old knowledge or experiences or even connections and looking at them again in a fresh way, you could actually have a real moment of inspiration in the first half of this week. Then we have the new moon on Wednesday. It occurs so late because it's the 7th in a series of new moons at 28 degrees. And of course, the sign of Pisces is the last zodiac sign. So symbolically, we're coming to the end of the astrological year. But it is saying to you, particularly in its angle to Uranus, that over the next month, your professional situation still has lots of possibilities, but clarity is going to be at a premium because the position of the new moon is in a conjunction with Neptune. Neptune's brilliant if we want to be more imaginative and embrace even the spiritual dimension. But if we need to be very clear, it can make things tricky. So just be aware of that. And yet, by Thursday, the sun moves into the sign of Aries. And for the first time in 150 years, merges with Neptune in the sign of Aries. And that 11th house is very much to do with where you want to be in touch with your higher purpose. It can be about sociability, can be about friendships and your long-term plan. And then right by the end of the week, the sun moves forwards and is coming into a conjunction with Saturn. And if there are some weaknesses around certain associations, they could be tested. But as I mentioned, Venus is going to be moving forwards in that friendly 11th house and in a right angle to Jupiter. Now, conversely, if you have a friend that you can be very jolly with. Go out, do some really fun things, enjoy a nice meal, perhaps be a little bit indulgent. That can bring some real uplift to the end of the week. But the energy of the sign of Aries, particularly with Saturn there now, is definitely asking you to be a bit more selective generally about who you spend your time with and more serious about those long-term plans. But there is that opportunity with the sun's link through that new moon to Uranus to do something really fresh and different when it comes to your professional situation, or even to do something for yourself. And as I say, maybe an old experience repackaged in a new way, which can be so helpful to you. So to recap, Gemini, Mercury, your ruler, going direct on Thursday in the part of your chart to do with work could unblock something that has got snared, bogged down, or has caused a worry. But equally, in that part of your chart, you continue to have Mars, which is very much about assertion. And that's giving you the confidence to say what you need, but don't try too hard right at the start of the week. When it comes to your relationship situation, someone you get on well with, whether it is romantically or not, can call out to you, but you may find yourself just doing something completely spontaneously, maybe flirty towards the end of this week as Venus squares off with Jupiter. But you could also be a little more extravagant with your money. So when it comes to finances, just be aware that temptation can be great and self-discipline rather low as the week draws to a close. But when it comes to your energy, what I would say is Uranus does retain its place in the 12th house of your chart. So nervous energy can still be quite strong. And if you do feel a need at some point in the week to just withdraw a little bit and just reflect on what you really need, then do take it. It's been a pleasure being with you, Gemini. If you've yet to watch your mid-month deep dive special video, please click on the screen to watch that. If you've yet to watch your Venus in Aries video, please click on that link for that video. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see the testimonials below. You can also get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning by signing up below. And if you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, your life roadmap, and your forecast, you can get 50% off. They're totally unique to each person they're produced for. They're fantastic value, very accurate, and will give you searing insights. Please apply Astro26 at the checkout for a 50% discount. Or if you want to get the Draconic version, the Soul Karmic version, please apply Draco26 at the checkout. Have a great week, Gemini. All the best and goodbye.